Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hoffman, and I am Admissions Director here at METTC, and I am going to go over some program information for our 2024 teacher training cohorts. So follow along with me, and then if you have any questions or want to follow up after watching this, feel free to email me at admissions@mettc.org, and we can talk more. I'm going to take you into some slideshows to talk about our program now. So METTC is the Montessori Elementary Teacher Training Collaborative, and we are a collaborative team that has come together to give Montessori Elementary Teacher Training Certification programs. Our program dates back over 30 years. Our core team began doing elementary teacher training at CMTE in New York, and in 2013, we moved our program up to the Boston area and continue to focus entirely on elementary teacher training. So we only do certifications for elementary 1, which is the 6 to 9 age range, elementary 2, the 9 to 12 age range, or the full elementary 1-2, which is the 6 to 12 age range. All of our teachers and all of our staff and faculty have extensive teaching experience at this age level. We really love working with elementary students and elementary programs. So that's what we specialize in, and that's what we do. In addition to who we are as a team and who we are as a staff, we really value being a responsive and inclusive program. The sense of community and collaboration that we bring to the work we do is at the core of our organization. When we say we're a collaborative team, it speaks to the fact that we also are organized collaboratively. So I'm an admissions director, but our administrative team is made up of 8 or 9 people, and we all have different roles. So rather than work in a hierarchical structure, we really work together to organize and run our programs. So as you work with us, you'll meet Robin Bryman, our program director, Biff, who does finances. I do admissions. My friend Sheila does field visitors and organizes getting you seen at your schools. Holly does advisories and support during the school year. Joel and Seth do all of our technical support. So we really are a team. And I'll show you on the next slide some of our faces. We have about 15 core faculty members. As I said, all of us work at the elementary age level. But we work all around the country. And in fact, many of us have experience working around the world with elementary students and in elementary programs. The faculty ranges in the type of school that we work in. So many of us work in private schools, but we also have experience in charter and public schools. We have teaching faculty who are in classrooms right now and just come teach with us in the summer, and teaching faculty who have taught for 30 years and now work primarily in our program. You may see some faces on here who you've seen as AMS Living Legacies. We have a number of those, or MACD Wise Elders. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog letting me know she would like to go out. So a tremendous amount of experience, published authors, speakers. Maybe you've seen some of our faculty at the AMS event or some of the local Montessori conventions. We're quite committed to what we do, and it's something we really pride ourselves on, is bringing so many voices to our team and voices to the table for you to learn from. So as I mentioned, METTC is primarily a teacher training certification program. Our teacher certification tracks are AMS and MACD accredited. So when you graduate and you complete the program, you do get a certification from AMS that you've completed the program. In addition to our teacher certification tracks, we do offer workshops and refreshers. You can always reach out to Seth at METTC.org about our workshop offerings. And we do also offer consulting, working with your school on perhaps a specific need or sport. So we've come in and done curriculum development or workshops with parents. If you're interested in that, you can let me know and I can connect you with the right people on our team. For our teacher training certification programs, we really believe in coaching teachers and schools through high fidelity Montessori pedagogy. So all of our programs are designed for teachers who are in Montessori teaching environments, working with students in a mixed age group setting. So you're working with either 6 to 9-year-olds or 9 to 12-year-olds or 6 to 12-year-olds. And using the Montessori materials, teaching those Montessori lessons, and building your practice as a Montessori teacher. We believe that practice and skills are built with support and community around you. So we are an in-person training program. We practice giving the lessons together. You have live presentations from teachers where we have questions, where we're getting our hands on materials, where you're practicing giving the lessons in front of experienced teachers. And we really are getting feedback and learning together how to be the best teacher for our students when we go back to our classroom. METTC is located on the campus of Lexington Montessori School. We rent that space for the summer and for our fall and spring seminars. Lexington is right outside of the Boston metro area, and we rent space in both the elementary and middle school buildings. We have room for both lecture presentations, so kind of classrooms set up with chairs and tables, presentation screens where we're doing our presenting. And then we have prepared environments set up as classrooms. So those are separate spaces we go into where you can see all the materials set up, where we're working on rugs and at tables and doing more of that collaborative learning work, getting our hands on the materials together. The campus is really beautiful and we are able to use the trails for walks during breaks, or getting out in nature and getting our hands on specimens of plants to learn about, or doing nature journaling together. So we really do use their campus. There's beautiful gardens and farms. I mean, not farms, but they grow lots of vegetables. So there's some really neat learning opportunities to see how to integrate outdoor spaces into our classrooms and our schools. If you are thinking about training, I really encourage you to talk to some folks in your school, talk to colleagues and mentors about what their training experience was like. And if you have the opportunity to speak with someone who has gone to METTC or completed our programs at CMTE, we're really proud of what our alumni have to say. We continue to hear that alumni are prepared to be in their classrooms. They feel equipped with resources, with experience. They feel confident that the practice they've done with the materials and the lessons and the sequence leaves them going back to their classroom saying, I can do this. I know what to teach this year. I know what this looks like. I've practiced giving this lesson. I've gotten feedback. I'm not only confident, I'm really excited to be working with students in these spaces. And we also continuously hear that the community people find at METTC is a resource and a strength of our program, right? My colleague and my cohort, these are people who I've kept in touch with for my entire teaching career. When I have a question, I have a great set of teachers to talk to. I know who to ask. The teachers who came with me to METTC and who are part of my summer training cohort are now my lifelong friends. So ask around. See if you can talk to an alum, or I can set you up with someone, because We are really proud of what our alums have to say, and I think you'll learn as much from them as you might learn from this information session. When you come to METTC, we do try to prepare you as much as we can for the classroom experience you're going to have. And so with your tuition for our program, not only are you getting the academic lectures and the support in your classroom and your cohort, but you are getting all of our digital albums and our digital materials for the level at which you enroll. So this is just an example of what those documents might look like. Our albums are filled out. So when you get your albums for your math, your language, really well-structured and deep cultural albums for geography, for history, for biology, for physical science. All of those come with your training. You will see the presentation lectures. There are some notes and pictures added to them. And then you will get those presentations during the academic phase in the summer. So our sessions will go through each presentation, give you an example of what that looks like when given to students, and you'll have the opportunity to practice those presentations. But we do give you the text and give you a format to go from. You add to that during the summer. So you might add your own pictures, add additional problems, sample problems, or resources or books that would be great to give with that lesson. But we do give you digital albums. Our materials are also a digital file, but our cultural materials, our language materials, you will get access to those, and then you can print those out and make them so that you have what you need to teach when you go back to your classroom during the year. We work really hard on our albums. There are a number of faculty who really spend a lot of time making sure you have the resources you need to go back to your classroom and say, okay, I'm ready to do test tube division. Here's a layout for how that looks when I do it. But the lectures you get in the summer also include philosophy and classroom management, anti-bias and anti-racist work in our classrooms. Giving a good presentation is incredibly important, and we will prepare you to do that. But we also know that to give a good presentation, we have to have classroom management skills. We have to understand how to prepare our environment so that we have a space to give presentations. We have to understand how to make our presentations fit the needs of our students, both developmentally and culturally. So for example, right, if I am in Maine, I'm going to make sure my lessons and the card work that I use and the context that I give reflects the experiences that my students see. So having that confidence and those skills to make your presentations fit your classroom and fit your school environment and meet the needs of your students. Those are all things we talk about in the summer, and they're not an add-on. They are part of every presentation. So it's not, a 4-hour session where we talk about how to have anti-biased, anti-racist coursework in our classes. Those conversations are built into everything we teach and everything we talk about. When you come for the summer and you practice your presentations and you get your albums, often we are feeling a strong sense of community, really excited to be together and learn together. And we work hard to continue that feeling into your internship and into your classroom experiences. So one of the ways that we do that is with advisory groups, connecting you with small cohorts of teachers who are at your level and often in your geographic area. And you'll meet monthly with those cohorts throughout the year. You will have observations from our METTC faculty where we come to your school and watch you teach and see your classrooms and get to give you feedback. And you always have our METTC faculty as a resource to advocate for you, to help you be successful in your classroom, and to come back to when you are looking for some extra support or guidance. or an ear to listen to. So we really believe that the physical resources we give to you are excellent, but also that those support resources and wraparound resources are there for you while you're a part of our program. Because in our hearts, we really believe that Montessori education is an incredibly powerful gift that we give to our students, that we give to the children of the world, because the work that we do in our classrooms seeks to create students who are engaged, competent, responsible world citizens who know how to be in community, who care about their classroom community, their local community, their state, their world. We believe that these Montessori environments are spaces that create citizens of our planet. And to do that, we learn in a cooperative, nurturing, safe environment that encourages questions, that gives our hands and our bodies and our souls something to work with. You know, the academic coursework is a huge part of what we do, but how we learn also goes along with how we learn to be a person, to be a human, to be a friend, to be a world citizen. And we try to emulate that environment in the summer. We learn together as adults in the same way that we hope you will go back and learn with your students in the classroom. Because the preparation you get as a teacher is so important to the work that you will do and has the potential to be a really transformative experience. We believe that this work is really important and it's really big. And we want to support you in feeling prepared, excited, and engaged when you go back to your school communities. So we hope you're interested in coming to one of our programs if this sounds like a space where you would want to learn, if it sounds like it meets the needs for what you need for teaching in your classroom environments. And so I'm going to kind of shift gears from the overarching principles and values of our program to talk about some of the 2024 cohort specifics right now. So let's switch slideshows. If you were looking for the details of how to come to training, you're going to get it now. Okay. So we need the METTC details slides. Let's go into this one right here. So we have 4 tracks for elementary teacher training certification. Track 1 is to complete the elementary 1 program at the 6 to 9 level. That is a 2-year program. And you can see the details here. Track 2 is to do the elementary 2 training at a standalone level. So you'd leave with just the elementary 2 certification if you do not have any other certifications at the 9 to 12 level. That is a 1-year program, but it has blended instruction. So there are both summer in-person requirements as well as online requirements during the school year. We have an elementary 1-2 program. That is a 2-year program. And then a elementary 2 for elementary 1-2. So that would be if you have an elementary 1 credential and you are coming back to add on the 9 to 12 component. That is also a 1-year program, but there is no online attendance required for that. So here's kind of just an overview of our programs. We have a Montessori prerequisite overview that's offered online or in person. That elementary 1 or elementary 1-2 training program this summer takes place at Lexington Montessori School for 5 weeks. If you're in the 9 to 12 standalone program this summer, you're on site for 6 weeks, including 2 Saturdays. If you are doing Elementary 2, for elementary 1, 2, you are on site at Lexington Montessori for 3 weeks, including 2 Saturdays. And I'm now going to go look at each program specifically and go through what that means. So let's talk about those interested in our elementary 1 training program. So you're starting this year. It is a 2-year program. If you do not have a primary level credential, so a 3 to 6 level credential, you are required to take what's called the Montessori overview or 3 to 6 overview class. For elementary 1 cohort members, you can take that class online with us. It starts in March and it is 8 weeks. Or you can take that class in person for 1 week, and that is the summer or the week immediately before your 5 weeks of training in the summer. So that would make your summer on site 6 weeks. Either way works, and that's totally up to you. The elementary 1 program starts in the summer of 2024 on July 1st, which is a Monday. That class is Monday through Friday for 5 weeks, ending on Friday, August 2nd. And then you start the school year in your classroom, and you start your internship here for the first year. You'll have 1 visit from METTC during that year, and you'll be part of an advisory. You'll come back twice during that year for a seminar, a 3-day seminar in November. So that's this fall seminar. And then you'll come back in May for a 3-day seminar. So those are both Friday to Sunday. And then you'll come back again in the summer of 2025 for 3 weeks. So June 23rd to July 11th. You'll then go back to your classroom and you will complete your internship during that second year. So you will finish up your assignments, get the remainder of your visits. And if you have all of your work done, you would be able to graduate and get your certification after your final seminar in May 2026. For those doing the elementary 1, 2 program, a 6 to 12 training, that is a 2-year program, and it looks really similar to the elementary 1 program until the second summer. So I'll talk through that. Again, a Montessori 3 to 6 overview course is required unless you have a primary credential. You have the option of taking this program online for 8 weeks starting in March, or for 1 week in person in the summer of 2024, the week before your training program starts. So that's that June 24th week. For this program, you come for 5 weeks in the summer of 2024 for in-person academic training. You go into your internship in that 2024-25 classroom year. During that first internship year, you get 1 visit, and you come to seminars in November and in May, so a fall and spring seminar. And then this is where your track gets different from elementary 1. For the second summer, you are on site for 6 weeks. So you finish up your elementary 1 coursework, and then the next 3 weeks is your 9 to 12 coursework. So you're on site for 6 weeks. You go into your final academic year and your internship, and then have 2 seminars in the following year. So a fall seminar, which will be announced the dates in November, and then a spring seminar in May of 2026. And that is when you would be able to complete your training if all of your coursework is done. If you are interested in the 9 to 12 standalone program, so that is for teachers teaching at the 9 to 12 level who do not have a 6 to 9 credential. This is a 1-year program. It is an intensive program to have you prepared to be teaching 9 to 12 content in the 2024-2025 school year. For students in this program, you must take the overview course online. So that's an 8-week course. We teach it each spring. It starts in March. So if you're thinking about this, getting your application in so you can join that cohort is very useful. When you come to Lexington Montessori School in the summer, you will be on campus for 6 weeks. So that's June 24th through August 2nd. And then following the 6-week intensive, you go back to your classrooms and you begin internship that very next year, or this coming year. During the start of that school year, we have a 6-week online class that you are required to join. We work with you to decide on scheduling, but classes are typically in the evenings. And there's some coursework associated with that. And then you join us for a fall and spring seminar. You can complete the program within that year and graduate in May 2025 if you have done all your coursework and are ready to graduate. So that is a fast-moving program, but really helps you be prepared to be in that upper L environment by next fall. For those who are wanting to train at the elementary to the upper L level, but do have an elementary 1 credential, that program is 1 year. It is just 3 weeks in the summer of 2024. So August 15th or July 15th through August 2nd, both elementary 2 standalone. And the standalone include 2 Saturday dates. So your classes are Monday through Saturday, the week of July 15th and the week of July 22nd. You do not need to complete an internship, so a student teaching practicum for this program, as you already have a elementary 1 credential and you completed an internship when you got that. But you are required to come to both seminars in the fall and spring, and you would graduate in May 2025. So this program does not include visits from METTC. We don't come see you teaching because you're not in a practicum or an internship. Those words are kind of exchangeable for a similar experience. If you were interested in having METTC observers come, though, that is something we could coordinate. So please let me know in your application in the process, and we can talk about that. So that kind of gives you an idea about how our programs unroll and what kind of time commitment you would need to think about and how to plan to be present and attend our program. When you are on campus learning with us, this is an example of what a week might look like. So this is not a schedule for next summer, but a sample schedule. Our classes are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a 1-hour break for lunch from noon to 1. The courses are broken up into a morning session and an afternoon session. And something that's pretty unique and that we really believe in is that all of our coursework is integrated. So what that means is we don't have a week for math or we don't have a week for language, but rather we're covering all the topics of teaching all week long. And we think that really reflects what we're doing in our classrooms, right? We don't have just a math week or just a language week. We're teaching math, and then we're teaching biology, and we're teaching grammar, and we're teaching history. And what we really hope that we see by doing this is all the ways that curriculum and learning is connected. There are so many opportunities to build literacy skills in our science curriculum, in our history work. There's opportunities to engage in numeracy and number work in our cultural curriculum. We need to be building in movement. We need to be integrating arts. The work we do in our classroom is integrated learning. So the work we do together in the summer is integrated learning. Additionally, our philosophy and classroom management sessions are built in throughout the week. So the questions that you have from watching sessions, you have these authentic opportunities to bring them up and get answers. And kind of build those neural networks in our own mind for where we can see how this expansive and cosmic curriculum is delivered to students. in addition to kind of our lecture or presentation style classes, which there's a lot of opportunity for movement and practice within those classes. There are times where we require students to do supervised practice. So supervised practice is a time during the day where you, the adult learners, are working with materials, going through your albums, saying, you know, okay, I saw during this morning session this lesson with the stamp game, and I know that I need to do this work myself. I know I need to practice this exchange. I know I didn't get it, and I want more time to practice giving it. Or I felt really confident about what happened during the large bead frame lesson, and I want to practice giving this like I would give to a group of students, and, you know, practice the bead frame sitting in front of me and me presenting behind it. So supervised practice is your time to work with the materials, work on what you need to practice from the week, practice giving the lessons like you're working with students, and give feedback to each other. That is required for 4 hours a week. Typically every Tuesday afternoon from 4 to 6, we end our classes early, and everyone stays for supervised practice. That's not on this week's schedule, but you will see that. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can choose whether you want to come early and do supervised practice before the morning session, so from 7 to 8 a.m., or stay from 5 to 6. So you're required to complete 4 hours a week, and you decide how that's going to fit into your weekly schedule. If you are taking one of our online courses, either the overview course or the philosophy into practice with the 9 to 12 standalone, we just want you to know we use an online learning platform called Moodle, and it's typical of your online learning programs. All of your coursework's on there, all of the content, the lectures, and there's an integrated Zoom type program called Big Blue Button. So you'll use this platform for all of our online learning opportunities. Before we end, I just kind of want to give you an idea of what you're going to do, just an idea, if you sign up for one of our teacher training programs. This content, so from here on out, we will review this extensively with you in the summer when you come to training. So that first week of training, we will go over the handbooks. We will talk about what's required of the academic phase and the practicum phase. We have a whole session on how to access your albums. What does album illustration mean? How to interact with those, how to make materials. What does it mean to be in practicum? What are your assignments? So this gives you a bit of information, but I don't want you to feel like I don't have enough information, because we go over all of this extensively in that first week of your coursework in person, and we will make sure you know everything you need to know. But basically, as part of our training program, there are 2 components. So we have the academic phase, and that is what happens in person together. That's the work we do together in our summer intensives and our weekend seminars. That's when you're getting your presentations, you're working on your albums. The academic coursework includes your assignments and exams, and kind of all the stuff we do to show that you know what you are being certified that you can teach. The practicum phase is your internship. That's your student teaching. So the academic phase is the what we teach. The practicum phase is the how you teach it. So all certification track teachers are required to complete both the academic coursework and a practicum. The practicum, you will get a form called the practicum site information form, and you'll go through that with the school that you're working at that says, I will be in a classroom with a 3-year age range. I will be in that classroom all year. I will be giving lessons in all of the curriculum areas. So you'll need to be giving lessons in math, language, cultural lessons. You'll need to be doing classroom management. We need to see all of those things happening to say that you are really prepared with not only the what, but the how for teaching students. During your practicum, you will get field visits from our METTC team. So we'll come to your school and come to your classroom and get a chance to see you teach. You can ask questions, give feedback. Those are really supportive and very useful visits. So you get 3 field visits from the METTC team. You'll be submitting teaching videos during that time. So examples of you teaching the curriculum. You'll be making materials to add to your classroom and showing us that you can prepare a classroom environment and do all of that work. So both of those components are required. And once you're in the program, we have a tool we just want to show you called your status of completion form, which kind of tracks all of that academic and practicum coursework together. So don't feel overwhelmed by this yet. You'll go through it, but this is what you can constantly come back to and say, like, where am I? What do I need to do? How is this going? And you can definitely share this with your administrators and your support team at school, so everyone can kind of help you plan for when to do your assignments, help you schedule observations, and it's all color-coded. So again, we'll talk about this, but the green assignments are the ones you do first. And after you complete the green assignments, someone from METTC comes to visit you. Then you do the blue assignments. It's very Montessori. When you complete the blue assignments, you get your second field visit. So there's kind of this scaffolded and supported opportunity for learning and working through the program where you're getting check-ins, where you're doing work and getting feedback. And we work really hard to make sure that what we ask you to do is meaningful to the certification program, right? So if you are starting your classroom, ideally you are already preparing your environment. So your schematic drawing of the classroom shows us that you have thoughtfully, intentionally prepared your environment. You are building a weekly schedule for your students. Submitting your weekly schedule allows you to send a weekly schedule and get feedback and talk through what is your plan for the week? Do you have record keeping in your classroom? What does that look like? What's your plan for that? So these are tools that good teachers use when they're in the classroom. We have examples and samples. So if your school or your environment might not have a lot of record keeping tools, you can kind of see and try, okay, I'm going into a classroom that doesn't have a setup. Let's look at my coursework from METTC and see what I could use. What do I want to try? Or maybe you're using Transparent Classroom and you've got a weekly plan and you're going to submit those record keeping formats to us. And we're going to say, looks like you're doing that. That's what we hope for. So the work we ask you to do is reflective of the competencies we expect our teachers to graduate with. And as you can see, it is scaffolded to kind of flow within the school year and with the work that you're doing as a teacher. In addition to that coursework, as we said, you do complete albums. There are exams at the end of the program. Those exams are written exams. There are times where you do teach lessons to the faculty during the summer and get feedback, and you will create materials from the METTC resources. So you'll show that you were able to create materials for your classroom. That is the bulk of our presentation. Before we go, I want to mention that AMS does have a teacher education scholarship program that opens in February and I believe stays open through April 15th. And if you are interested in applying for that, I can send you the information if that's a resource that would be helpful. METTC does not have any scholarships internally, but another great place to look is if you have any state or local Montessori agencies. Sometimes those programs offer teacher scholarships as well. I thank you for learning alongside this. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what is both involved in the program and what you get by enrolling in our program. Teacher education certification is a huge commitment of time and energy. And as you embark on this, we really want you to feel excited, confident, um, and committed to coming to a program that is going to support you to be the teacher that you need to be in your classrooms. Um, we think we do a really good job, and we're really proud of the program that we lead, um, both for what it offers teachers, for what it offers schools, for the resources, for the support, for the community. And if you have other questions, if you want to talk personally about your situation or some of your concerns or ideas, I am happy to set up a time to talk further. Or applications are open. If you feel ready to apply, please head to www.metc.org/apply and fill out that application. Once you fill out the online application, I will reach out to you with next steps and say, okay, here's where you send your transcripts. Here's where you send your letters of recommendation. Hint, everything goes to admissions@metc.org and I will respond to you. But once you fill out that online application and submit your application fee, we hold your spot in the program. Our admissions process is a rolling admissions process. So we opened admissions on December 15th, and we have spaces open until they fill. Our cohorts fill at about 20 students. So once we have that enrollment, we do close enrollment for the year. And I would love to talk to you about that and see how to help you on your Montessori certification journey. So thanks for listening, and I hope we get to connect.